Welcome to the final question, number 36 from the June 2015 Geometry Regents exam. For the first part of this question, we're trying to prove that this triangle RST is a right triangle. So I've already gone ahead and plotted the points that were given. Now to prove that this that RST is a right triangle, we want to show that the line from T to S and the other leg of the triangle, S to R, are perpendicular. And we can do that by comparing the two slopes of each other, because if the slopes are negative reciprocals of each other, that proves that they're perpendicular, and therefore angle S is 90 degrees. So let's go ahead and get started. So the slope, let's find out the slope of the line from T to S first. So using the slope formula, we're looking for the change in y, so that would be -4 minus 6 over the change in x, which would be 1 minus -5. So that gets us -10 over 6, which is simplified to being -5/3. Now let's compare that to the slope of S to R. So the change in y there would be -1 minus -4 over the change in x, which is 6 minus 1. So that becomes 3 over 5. Good, and that's what we were hoping for. See, 3/5 and -5/3. These are negative reciprocals of each other. So you can read my description there. I said that since the slopes are negative reciprocals of each other, they are perpendicular and form a right angle. Since angle S is a right angle, triangle RST is going to be a right triangle. Now, moving on to part 2 of this question, it says to state the coordinates of point P such that quadrilateral RSTP is a rectangle. In order to do this, let's just zoom in here. It's not too bad. All we need to do is realize that the slope from S to R and T to the point P that we're trying to find are going to be the same. Because if you want this to be a rectangle, the line from S to R and T to P must have the same slope. So let's take a look for the slope from S to R. It goes 5 across and 3 up. So from T, we go 5 across and 3 up. So right here is our point P. And it has the coordinates 0 and 9. Okay, now for part 3, it says to prove that your quadrilateral RSTP is a rectangle. Well, to prove that something's a rectangle, one way to do that is to show that all 4 slopes of each line segment are negative reciprocals of each other. Now we've already calculated 2 of them, so let's calculate the slopes of the other 2 sides we haven't done yet. Let's start with the slope of the line TP. So here the change in y is from 9 to 6, and our x is 0 to -5. So this becomes 3 over 5. Now let's take a look at the slope of the line from P to R. So the change in y there is from -1 to 9, and the x goes from 6 to 0. So that's -10 over 6, which is -5/3. And this is what we were hoping for. We wanted the slopes of T and S to be the same as P and R, and S and R, TP, to have the same slopes, but we can see that they are negative reciprocals of each other. So as a good explanation, we could state that since the slopes of all 4 adjacent sides of the quadrilateral are negative reciprocals of each other, they are perpendicular and form right angles. Therefore, quadrilateral RSTP is a rectangle because it contains 4 right angles. We've done it. We've proven that the quadrilateral is a rectangle. All right, that's all for this video, and thanks for visiting JD's Regents Preparation.